just before this, what I said is I want to say what I want to say spontaneously, but you have to be careful what you say, because if you just say whatever comes in your mind, you can get in trouble, because there are all kind of people out there in society, in the market. So if you just say whatever that comes in your mind, you can get in trouble, and you don't want to be in trouble, which is perfectly fine. As a human being, we don't like to get in trouble. Nobody goes out and shout, hey, I want to get in trouble, I want to get in trouble. Nobody says that. It will be funny if somebody says that kind of thing, right? Not getting in trouble is sign of intelligence. If you put yourself in trouble intentionally, then that means you are stupid. You don't want to put yourself in trouble intentionally. Unintentionally, we all get in trouble, which is fine, right? We make mistakes, those things are fine. But if you just go out there and say, hey, I want trouble, if you say that, you are stupid. So what I'm saying is, you have to be honest with yourself, right? You have to be honest with yourself, not with other people. If you be brutally honest with other people, they may not be able to handle the truth. And the other thing is that just being honest doesn't mean that you know everything, right? You could make mistakes, you can make mistakes. So in some situation, being quiet is the answer, right? You cannot just go out there and say, hey, I feel this, I feel that, I think this, I think that, right? If you do that, of course everybody is not same, but there are people out there who cannot take your opinion. They get offended. And some people, even if they get offended, they may not react, right? They may just walk away. But there are people out there who will fight back, will fight with you, right? Not even fight back, like they will come and attack you. So why should you put in trouble, right? Why would you want to put yourself in trouble for no reason? If anybody is attacking you at that time, it's okay to fight back, but for no reason, why would you put yourself in trouble? What I like to do is, I like to be honest. And in that kind of situation where I cannot share my honest opinion, because the other person who is listening to that may get offended, when I see that and when I sense that, I be quiet. I cannot say it. I cannot say what I want to say, because that person is going to get offended, and I don't want that. It's not that I don't care about that person, but that person may overreact and may attack you, right? You don't know that person, so you have to be careful. Just being honest doesn't mean that you just go out there and say whatever you want to say, right? And being honest to yourself, what does that mean? You are not trying to trick yourself. How can you be honest to yourself, right? How can you be honest to yourself? That is the main question. Because if you are honest to yourself, no matter what, it will lead you to good direction in life, right? It doesn't mean that you will not make mistakes, but at least you'll be able to figure out what is right and wrong, or at least what I'm doing, right? You'll be able to own your mistakes, because there are people out there who cannot own their mistakes, who don't want to own their mistakes. Even if you show their mistakes on their face, they don't want to admit. They'll just run away from that. They'll just pretend that, no, I didn't make any mistakes. There are people out there like that kind of people. Maybe you have done that, right? Maybe I have done that. I know I'm lying, but still I'm doing it because it is benefiting me. So, how do you be honest to yourself? When you are lying, you admit that you are lying. Maybe not to other people, not to the person that you are lying to, but you can you don't hesitate to admit that you are a liar. You don't hesitate to admit that when you made a mistake, I made a mistake. Alright? You are not trying to win the argument. If you see that you are doing something wrong, if there is flaw in your argument, you admit that I was wrong. Yes, there is a flaw in my argument. There is a flaw in my thinking. There is a flaw in my thought process. You don't hesitate to do that. That's a sign of being honest to yourself. Right? What else? Yeah, those are the sign of being honest to yourself. Accepting your mistakes and willing to change your mind. And if something doesn't make sense to you, you accept the fact that it is not making sense to you. You are not pretending, right? You are not faking it. You are not trying to make yourself believe that you know it. Whom are you tricking? If you don't know and if you admit that you know, whom are you tricking? You are tricking yourself, right? You are not tricking other people. You think that I know how to run a business. You are overconfident. You think you know that, but you are given that opportunity to run a business and you couldn't do it. And instead of owning your mistakes, instead of admitting that I was wrong, you are blaming other people. You are blaming people around you. That person did this, that person did that. Because of that, I was not able to do it. You blame other people. When you are not honest to yourself, you blame other people for your situation, whatever you are going through, right? One is blame. You blame other people or blame the situation. The other next thing is you are not willing to change your perspective. You are not willing to change your action. You don't accept the fact that you don't know everything. Any subject could be about psychology, could be about biology. If you are studying biology, no matter how much you study, you are not gonna know everything, right? And if you are a physics student, if you are a computer science student, if you are in that profession, you don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. When you accept that fact, you become honest to yourself. Alright? These are the signs of being honest to yourself. You are not pretending and you don't have any belief. The moment when you believe something, then you are not being honest to yourself. For example, you have never been to Grand Canyon. One of your friend says that Grand Canyon is very grand and very big. So you have never seen that. You see the picture. It looks grand in the picture, but you haven't experienced the Grand Canyon, right? You haven't been there. If you accept the fact that Grand Canyon is grand without visiting, just listening to your friend, then you are not being honest to yourself because you don't know. You haven't been to that place, right? Once you go to Grand Canyon, there is no necessity of believing anybody or anything, right? You don't have to believe anybody, you don't have to believe anything. Like Grand Canyon is this, Grand Canyon is that, because you have that experience, you have been there, right? There is no use of belief, because the moment when you believe something without any experience, because belief means you don't have experience, you are not being honest to yourself. And when you pretend, when you don't accept the fact that I don't know everything and I'm not expert in anything, you can never be expert in anything. Compared to other people, you may know a little bit more than those people, but you are not expert. How can you be expert? Because there are so many things you don't know, right? You are humble. You can never be honest with yourself if you are not humble. If you have a big ego, right? I am the king, I know everything, I can do everything, then you cannot be honest with yourself, because that's not a fact, right? So these are the sign of being honest to yourself.